do I really need to spend all this money on an insulated floor heating system? Can't I just put it in the concrete and, that's where it's supposed to live, right? You just chuck some pipes in the concrete, warm water, that's it, happy days, easy peasy. Well, unfortunately, that's not always the case. I'm Phil from Euroheat, and we've been designing and installing hydronic heating and cooling systems for over 30 years in Australia. And we've seen a lot of the stuff-ups and nightmares over time. And today I want to tell you a little bit about why you should use an insulated screed floor heating system, where you should use it, and where you can get away with not using it. The reason you use an insulated floor heating screed system is to stop the energy that you've created to put in to the floor from escaping. And so escaping into the ground below, or the rest of the building structure where we don't want the heat to go, or maybe to the outside air. So we keep the heat inside the house, inside the rooms where we want it, and we're not unnecessarily heating, let's say, the ground or balconies or other parts of the building that don't need the heat. So what happens if you don't use an insulated screed system for your floor heating and you just put it in, for example, your suspended slab on your first floor? Well, that suspended slab is pretty thick. There's a lot of concrete in there, there's a lot of steel, there's a lot of thermal mass. And sure, we can pump enough energy in there to heat it up, and then it will heat the rooms around. But the way we build our houses here in Australia, we tend to have a lot of, say, projections with the concrete. So, for example, it's out of the picture now, but I can see out here, there's basically a balcony outside, and that's a continuation of the suspended slab. So what happens is, or what would happen here if there was heating in the suspended slab is, sure, there would be some of the heat would be going into the rooms, but a lot of heat would be traveling out through the side of the slab into the balcony, disappearing into the air, basically. And that's the same as like money being thrown out of the window, because you've paid to create that heat and now it's disappearing. So in Europe, they basically never do something like that. In Australia, there has been this concept of doing it this way because it is quick and easy. But basically, on a first floor or any floor where there is a suspended slab, you should be putting it in an insulated screed. Now, it is expensive, I know, because you have to pay for the additional cost of the screed, and that can add up really quickly. So in Europe, it's really common to perhaps lower the budget, is to have, say, room radiator panels on the walls upstairs instead. And that way they have, say, only the screed on the ground floor inside, but upstairs they use the radiator panels as a substitute, which is almost as good as the floor heating system. To take it a step further, we're actually pretty lucky here in Australia, especially, let's say, in Perth, in Perth, where we've got a lot of sand and it's not that cold, right? It's cold enough that you want heating, but it's not super cold like it is in Europe, minus 20 or something like that. But what this means for us is, because we're building in sand in WA, and in the eastern states there's obviously a lot of clay, but it's a similar concept, we can insulate the ground slab, the on-ground slab. So not on the first floor, but the one that's actually on the ground floor and sitting on, say, the sand or the clay. And because we can insulate it, it means that we can mitigate, or we can stop, let's say, around 80% of the heat loss potentially. Every job is different, every project's different. But we find on a lot of our projects, on the ground floor, we can just actually install the floor heating into that on-ground slab, insulate that on-ground slab, so underneath and the sides. And sure, we do have a little bit of heat loss, but we save a lot of money for the client because we don't have to put that additional topping screed, because the ingredients are really the same. We need insulation, and here we've got it on top of the slab with the floating floor screed. But if we put it into the on-ground slab, we put it underneath the concrete, so before the concrete is poured, obviously. That goes down, then the slab is prepared, the mesh is put in, the floor heating piping is put in, and then the concrete is poured. Here, there's the structural slab, the suspended slab. Then on top of that, we've got the insulation and our pipes, and then there's that thin layer of screed over the top. So these are the two main methods that we recommend. There are other methods available, such as say the radiators, or we can do timber floor heating with a special diffusion plate and timber batten system. But for 95% of houses, these are the two best options. And if you can, if it's in the budget, definitely go for this. If you have a multi-story house, this should be on the upper floors. And if you just have a single-story house, you can have it in the slab, and that will save you a bit of money. And we find that often, if we do the multi-level houses, that they, for good reason, end up putting the floor heating on the ground floor in the insulated screed, even though they could put it into the structural slab. But they put it in because the whole house is then the same, and we can say that the whole house is performing really efficiently. But for, let's say, just a classic 3-bedroom house, a single-story house, if I was building a a single-story 3-bedroom house right now, I would just put it into the slab, insulate it as best as we can, and go from there. Because we will lose a bit of energy, but if we look at how much energy, because we've mitigated a lot of that heat loss, it's not that bad, and we can sort of overcome that and live with it without spending all that additional money on the screed. So if you would like help with your hydronic floor heating system for your single level, 2-level, or even 3-level home, like I mentioned before, please do give us a call at Euroheat. We've been designing and installing hydronic heating and cooling systems for over 30 years, and we'd love to help you too.